this match was, we just kind of regressed back into some, I don't know, behaviors or whatever that we were doing earlier in the season, and missed a lot of serves. New Mexico didn't. I mean, that really was the difference in the match, and that they had 6 aces, 6 errors. We had, I think, 6 aces, 16 errors. That's a 10-point difference, and that's the difference in the match. We out-hit them. We had way more kills than they did, but we also had a lot of unforced errors. And that did hurt us. You know what I mean? I felt like our hitters were a little impatient at times and taking swings at balls that we could probably just continue. I mean, if you look at the kill differences, if we just continue on those rallies, we're probably going to win. 13 hurt us really early in the match, but we made a good adjustment on her, and that was the reason I think that we won the third and fourth sets. So we made some nice adjustments, played better defense after those first 2 sets, but then came down to the fifth. In 5th sets anybody can win, and that one stayed pretty close. I don't think there was ever more than a 2-point gap. Maybe there was, but it didn't seem like it. And New Mexico made the plays at the right time. So it's a disappointing loss, but we have a lot to be proud of this year. These are wonderful young women that I'm working with every day, and we've got several days off now, and then we will play in an NCAA tournament, and I think we'll do very well. I always, and I'll tell them this next time we meet as a team, but back in 2009, we lost our last home match and won the conference just like we did this year, and we went to the Sweet 16 that year. So these things, you got to brush them off and try to learn from them, and recognize that we are very good, and we will get back into a rhythm and do the things that we do well. That's all there is to it.
Katie, it looked like you kind of were struggling a little to find your groove early. You kind of started to find it those last 3 sets. Was there anything that they were doing that was kind of impacting you, or were you just kind of...
No, I just think I wasn't connecting as well as I should have been, especially with the middles. But I'm glad. I think it kind of got better throughout the match, but yeah.
Bree, you guys lost tonight, but you set the singles season record. Does it kind of dampen your milestone a little bit to know that you guys lost your final match?
I mean, losing never feels good, but I think it just kind of shows us what we need to expect for going into the tournament. We haven't had a 5-set match in a while, so I think it's another preparation for us.
Tom, you guys just set the record yesterday night for most service aces as a team for a season. How surprising was it to see how much you guys kind of regressed in this match in that area?
Well, I don't know. When you're in the middle of that, I think to myself, well, are we just serving easy, or are they passing better? It's hard to really tell. I do think that when a set is tight and the score is tight, sometimes servers get tight, and that creates some misses. But I still want my team to go for it. You know what I mean? We were talking about Sasha at the end there, whether we wanted her to serve or put a sub in or have Amanda serve in that spot, and we said, let's go with the tougher server, and that we've been doing it all year, and we're going to continue to do it. And we live by it, and tonight we unfortunately died by it.
You talk about how it kind of gets tight when the matches are tight. Going into the tournament, you're going to be facing a lot of that. Does that kind of worry you a little bit?
No, I mean, I don't want to be worried about it. What I want to do is have them go into the tournament and play with a great deal of freedom. We don't know who our opponent's going to be. We don't know any of that stuff yet. So I want them to go into the tournament rested, fresh, and play with a lot of freedom and go out and just compete at the highest level they can.
Tom, you talked about that 2009 team. Do you think sometimes maybe it almost helps you refocus going into the tournament to be coming off a match like this, as opposed to if you had been going in with 13 straight wins?
It can, and I hope it does. And I think this team's mature enough where they will let that happen.
Tom, there were really not many Mountain West implications from this game, but obviously there was RPI implications. what kind of effect do you think that's going to have on you guys?
We'll drop.
having-
The way they do the RPI adjustments, I think New Mexico's low enough to where we'll get it like a 1-point drop dinged against us for that. But it's not really, that's not going to impact us that much because we're certainly not going below 48, which is what would put us as a 4, and then you don't want to be a 4 in your little pod. So we're going to be in the middle match in whatever pod we get sent to. It's probably going to be in the West. So it really isn't going to make that much of a difference.
It's
Oh, go ahead.
it's likely that the top 4 coming out of the RPI you may have not faced outside of possibly Illinois if they make it in. Does that give you a little worry a little bit?
No, I mean we haven't played anybody in the top 16 except Illinois. So
Katie, it looked like passing was a little bit rough those first 2 sets in particular. It looked like you were really having to rely almost exclusively on your outside, and they kind of took the middle away that way. Did that get better, and if so, kind of what changed?
Yeah, I think it improved throughout the course of the match, and I was just connecting a little bit better in system with the middles. So it did definitely start with passing at times, I think.
Did it seem like their block was very, very much designed to try to take away the outside, and when you were able to go to the middle, a little bit more effective there?
Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, they were really up on our middles too. But once they started blocking those outsides, the middle reopened again.
Tom, on a more positive note, Bree did break the single season record. With the type of hitter you've seen her become, was it kind of one of those things that you knew was bound to happen at some point?
I think Breana is going to have a record-setting career here. She's carrying a lot for us, and she's a very mentally tough kid, and we obviously she can improve and she knows it, but it doesn't surprise me that she broke that record, and it won't surprise me if she doesn't become the all-time kill leader.
Bree, you had 59 attempts tonight. As the season has gone on, you've become more and more and more of the leader. Where do you think you're at as of right now in that kind of leadership role for the team?
I mean, I see that this team does rely a lot on me sometimes, and so it's kind of just being mature about it and keeping my composure, because I don't want to get out of my calm element and then rattle the team. So I just kind of have to keep a calm head, and then as you saw at the beginning of the match, I wasn't on my best, but I was able to turn it up after halftime.
Breana, how do you feel about this team just as you head into the NCAA tournament and what this team may be capable of doing?
I mean, as you saw, after the half, we can turn it up a notch. We have that switch that we can flip. And we did work really hard. I think just in the 5th set, we just made silly mistakes at the wrong times.
Katie, you guys don't have a senior on the entire team. Who do you kind of expect to step up in these close matches when you guys get into the tournament without that, graduating leader?
Yeah, I definitely look towards Bree to get things done, as we previously talked about. I just, she's very reliable.